Good morning. My name is Lieutenant Elizabeth Gallegos, and today I'm presenting The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Since its first publication in 1989, 7 Habits has become one of the best-selling nonfiction books of all time, with more than 25 million copies sold in 40 languages. The Covey family has used the book's success to build a thriving business centered around 7 Habits' key concepts, selling follow-on texts, audiobooks, and business leadership seminars, and most famously acted as advisors to the Clinton administration. Stephen Covey earned a bachelor's degree and master's in religious education from Brigham Young University, as well as an MBA from the Harvard Business School. He was a professor at Brigham Young University at the time of the book's publication, and went on to launch a career as a speaker and author after its considerable success. Dr. Covey was an active leader in the Church of Latter-day Saints throughout his life and passed away at his home in Utah in 2012. He authored numerous books and founded the successful businesses Stephen Covey's Online Community and Franklin Covey. I had heard of 7 Habits but never read it prior to this course and was very curious to see what about it had garnered all this attention. I was not disappointed. Covey's writing style is simple, straightforward, and he presents totally timeless values. So, who is an effective person? Dr. Covey relies heavily on his personal experiences and the anecdotal experience of business leaders in his text, instead of citing business research from the 1980s. In the introductory chapter, Covey draws on personal experience and opinion to describe an effective person. This person is a leader, but also demonstrates organized, efficient management of their work and personal matters. The effective person embodies the qualities of good character over personality. Covey firmly believed that the person in the room with the most work ethic and integrity would ultimately win over the loudest or most charismatic. The thing I liked best about the text were the broad, general themes presented that could be translated from the business world and easily applied to other areas such as healthcare or even family life. My biggest complaint with the 7 Habits is that it is somewhat dated. In 1989, computer technology and social media had not yet infiltrated the workplace, and the events of September 11th and the recession of 2008 had not yet impacted our economy. So Covey's examples from the 1980s business world have lost some of their impact. So let's dive into the basic tenets of 7 Habits. After the introduction, the book is divided into 7 chapters, each highlighting one habit or personal strategy for success. The first 3 habits fall under the broader concept of self-mastery. Habit 1 is entitled Be Proactive and challenges readers to identify their sphere of influence, or things they can control within their environment. Covey advises that readers work to solve feasibly fixable problems, anticipate new problems, and not be sidetracked by what they cannot control. Begin with the end in mind advises the reader to set goals and clearly define outcomes, then to set a course of action to achieve them. Military medicine has undertaken a similar approach with the Quadruple Aim Initiative, which aims for a higher standard of quality, cost-effective healthcare, and then works backwards to achieve that goal. Finally, Put First Things First describes the differences between leadership and management. In Covey's opinion, leaders begin with an inner personal vision and prioritize the steps to achieve their goals based on tasks' importance and urgency. Tasks with importance and high urgency are given priority time and attention over low priority, low importance tasks. We have all witnessed a practitioner give more attention to a moderately ill patient who makes a fuss over a very ill patient who doesn't attract much attention. Prioritizing tasks by importance and urgency is extremely applicable to the healthcare workplace and its inherent crunch for time, where sometimes the squeaky wheel does not need grease immediately. So, the ultimate goal of these first 3 habits is to empower the person to move from a state of dependence on others for success to an independent capacity for success. Let's look at the next 3 habits. These fall under the theme of interdependence, or success in working with others. The first of these, in Think Win-Win, Covey says to approach conflict resolution with the attitude that both parties win from the best long-term outcome for both. Covey values interpersonal skills and relationships very highly and draws strongly from his religious convictions in this chapter. He believes the best way to help yourself is to help others and preserve relationships in the long run, even if it means relinquishing some of what you hoped to win in the short term. In military medicine, practitioners who disagree on a case will still have to work together, or on deployment live together when the next patient checks in. Covey's advice to think win-win has potential to strengthen these interpersonal relationships in stressful settings. The closely related habits of seek first to understand, then to be understood, and synergize highlight strategies for working with teams. Seek first to understand presents an apparent contradiction. If people feel you listen to them, they are more likely to respect you and be influenced by you. Better listening may be especially important in healthcare for obtaining constructive patient or customer feedback for care. This is the antithesis of a military approach to leadership, where the boss is taught to give orders, not to listen attentively to subordinates, and it could be beneficial to incorporate more active listening into our leadership styles. In Synergize, Covey reminds us that together people accomplish more than as individuals. This cannot be more true than in the healthcare environment. The most brilliant provider has their hands tied if they cannot effectively work with ancillary staff and colleagues to provide care. Many of us in healthcare need this reminder to put ego aside and be open to working with a team. Lastly, Sharpen the Saw summarizes all of the habits and challenges the reader to continually improve upon them throughout their career. Interestingly, Covey deviates from his focus on the business world in this chapter and offers his personal opinion on the importance of work-life balance. Covey encourages readers to spend time with family, develop a spiritual life, and stay healthy, which will ultimately drive workplace success. Covey's work relies heavily on personal opinion and anecdotal evidence from his many contacts in the business world of the 1980s. Nevertheless, Covey's success from this publication speaks for itself, and he has minted himself a genuine subject matter expert on business management and leadership. He developed a multi-million-dollar industry from speaking engagements and follow-on publications to the text, and became co-founder of successful businesses Franklin Covey and Stephen Covey's online community. Covey's basis for the 7 habits rests almost exclusively in his belief in the character ethic, or embodying time-honored personal values like frugality, integrity, and prudence in the business world. Instead of citing recent business research, Covey more frequently brings in examples from historical leaders like Benjamin Franklin, even Ptolemy and Socrates in his writing. Covey's work can be directly applied to military medicine's current Quadruple Aim initiative, which seeks to improve readiness, provide family-centered care, lower per capita costs, and emphasize preventive population health. Military leaders have already begun with the end in mind in creating these goals, and would benefit from Covey's advice on prioritizing important tasks, being proactive within individual spheres of influence, as well as working effectively in teams. Habit number 7, sharpening the saw, can be applied to the military's goal of continual process improvement. On a smaller scale, Covey's book speaks to the challenges of working as a nurse anesthetist. No one in medicine works in a box, and operating rooms are at their core team environments. CRNAs would benefit from Covey's advice on team synergy and win-win conflict resolution. Anesthesia can be a stressful occupation, and Covey's advice on sharpening the saw by prioritizing self-care rings true with me as a stressed anesthesia student. Finally, his advice on prioritizing urgent and important tasks can be directly applied to patient care scenarios where an anesthetist has many tasks to accomplish and needs to prioritize what is most important and urgent to her patient's safety. In conclusion, I would highly recommend The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People to emerging leaders in military medicine. Though lacking references to current events or business research, the 7 tenets are truly timeless and can be applied to improve processes in the healthcare setting and help leaders achieve the quadruple aim. Covey's opinion of leadership is nothing revolutionary or magical, simply that good old-fashioned values, organization, and positive teamwork will lead to success. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to email me with any questions.